I got to ask you this. Talking to the President of the United States right now on the Ryan Turner Morning Show with Wanda Smith. You know, one of the counties in Georgia, DeKalb, has the largest African refugee population in the entire state, maybe even in the entire country. That's impacting the school system with all the things that people don't or think they know about Ebola. How do we get people to understand, you know, the right methodology of what's going on so that we have people that aren't singled out just because of where they're from?
Well, look, I think that obviously this last couple of weeks, the media frenzy around this issue has been powerful. And a lot of folks are scared, and I understand that because this is a very serious disease. But the fact is that so far we have 3 known cases in the United States. One, an individual who came here, the other 2 who treated him. And if, in fact, people understand the facts, then they need to recognize this is a very hard disease to get. You can't get it just because somebody's in the same room with you. You don't get it because of some airborne virus. The only way you get it is if somebody is showing symptoms and ends up getting some of their bodily fluid on you, their blood or their sweat, or they throw up or things like that. So healthcare workers have to show a lot of precaution. But generally speaking, this is something that is very hard to transmit, and we put in protocols in place where if folks do show symptoms, then we've got to get them isolated very quickly, and we know how to do that. But just to give you a sense of comparison, typically every year, somewhere between 20 and 30,000 people die of the flu. So far, 1 person in the United States has died of Ebola. So that's 1 versus 30,000. So if folks really want to make sure that they're safe and their kids are safe, the best thing they can do is get a flu shot. That will make a difference. And, in the meantime, we're going to be working to continue to educate the public on how difficult it is to get these diseases. It is very important for people to keep their heads and to recognize that we do not have an outbreak or an epidemic here in the United States. Now, what's happening in the 3 countries in Africa, Liberia, Guinea, and Sierra Leone, is very serious because they have such a bad public health system, and they're so poor, and many of their traditions in terms of burial and so forth means that a lot of people unwittingly get infected, that we're having to surge a lot of resources just to help them. And that's going to be an ongoing battle that probably takes several months or maybe even a year or 2 before we get it under control. That's not what's taking place here. And so everybody just needs to understand the facts and recognize that the likelihood of anybody in Atlanta getting Ebola is much lower than the likelihood of somebody slipping in the bathtub and getting killed, or